Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod review. Today, we're doing a much-needed breakdown on the brand new SKS mod known as the SKS Redux by PrecisionTacos. Now, I did already cover this mod over on Mods Weekly, but that was just a brief overview giving some basic details about the mod. But as mentioned in that video, I wanted to do a much larger, more in-depth breakdown of this mod because there is a whole lot going on here. This mod's going to bring in the SKS in Fallout in a very lore-friendly way, not only in its design, but also in the way that it's implemented into the game, as it's not just a typical old leveled list. Additionally, there is an absolute ton of customization. If you're a fan of different attachments on weapons, this mod is going to be a treat for you because there is just so much customization for one single weapon. That's going to include all of the real-world SKS parts for you gun nuts out there, and even some bubbified weapon attachments that are great for Fallout fans. Additionally, I'll go a little bit in depth about how you can actually obtain this weapon and craft it, and some of the other features like animations, stats, etc. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, when it comes to obtaining this weapon, like I said, it's not your typical old leveled list, although that is there. This weapon is added to the leveled list and can be found in the world on NPCs. That being said, it'll start spawning at level 15, but it spawns all over the place. You can find it on raiders, but you can even find it on Diamond City guards and gunners and all kinds of different NPCs. And what's interesting is, depending on who you find it on, they will have different skins. So the Diamond City guards will have their own unique skin for this weapon, as well as raiders, and even the pack from Nuka World will have their own skin for this weapon, which I think is a really cool touch to personalize this weapon to each faction. But finding this weapon on all of those factions may not be that simple because it is a level list, it's completely random. If you want a guaranteed way to get this weapon, we're going to go there right now. So to find the set spawn of this weapon, you're going to need to fast travel over to Nordhagen Beach and start making your way towards Fort Strong. As you make your way down the road, you'll see that on the left of the road, there will be a few washed up shipping containers with a couple of raiders. Once those raiders are taken care of, you'll see that next to these shipping containers are a ton of ruined SKSs. Now these are garbage. As you can see by the model, they're completely useless, and you can't really do anything with these. But if you look around, there will be one that is actually named as an SKS. You just kind of have to dig through these, and there's one. Type 56 SKS. Let's grab that. There are a couple more scattered in here. As you can see, there's another one right there. And now we need to head to our nearest settlement to the weapons workbench. Now that you've got that ruined SKS, take it over to your nearest weapons workbench, and you'll see that in the ammo section, it's right here, it says needs repairs. Simply open this thing up, and you're going to need to repair two objects. First is the receiver. You need to take it off of that broken receiver and add something normal. Let's just throw on the worn receiver here. And then for the barrel, we have an obstructed barrel. We need to swap that out as well. We'll grab a regular old barrel here. And now the weapon is completely functional. Simple as that. Now that you have your very own SKS, we need to talk about the stats of this weapon. There isn't really a standard variant of this gun, considering there's so many different versions like the 45 SKS, the Type 56 SKS, there's just a lot of options. So I grabbed the most basic version I could figure out with the Type 56 and the most standard parts, and these are the stats I've got. I've got a base damage of 50 using the 7.62 rounds from Nuka World. This thing has a fire rate of 117 in semi-automatic, a range of 203, an accuracy of 58, a weight of 9.7 pounds, and a value of 101 caps. Altogether, seeming like some pretty balanced stats. You're not really going to get 7.62 very early on until you hit Nuka World, so I think that this weapon fits perfectly in Fallout 4's sandbox, at least in terms of balancing. Now then, one thing I'm sure you're all wondering about is animations and sounds, and this weapon does come with not only custom animations, but custom sounds as well, and it even comes with multiple custom animations depending on what kind of magazine you have. So, here we have the internal magazine with the stripper clip reload. And then we also have one with a detachable magazine, kind of like your standard AK. Very cool to see options for both types of the SKS reload. Now, as is tradition, we need to test out the accuracy on this weapon, but I have no doubt this thing is going to pass with flying colors. Here we are at close range, medium range, and long range. This weapon has absolutely no trouble hitting every single target. Now then, it is time to check out the attachments over at the weapons workbench, and buckle up, we've got a lot to cover here. This not only has a ton of base attachments, but it even has a few that open up even more attachment sections, so I really hope I don't miss anything. Starting off with the receiver section, we have your worn receiver, standard receiver, all the way up through calibrated powerful receiver, but we even have some interesting custom ones like the Albanian receiver and the regrettable auto receiver, which will turn this thing fully automatic. And you'll notice that the damage is a bit bugged. It says that this thing has 15,000 damage. That's something that probably needs to be addressed with a patch. Now then, we also have barrels. We have your SKS Obrez barrel, which is a nice little shorty. We even have a shorter version than that with the very short barrel, which is completely sawed off and doesn't even have a front sight. We have the Type 56 barrel, the Type 45 barrel, the M59/66 barrel, and the SKS Paratrooper barrel. Then we have different stock options. We have the late Type 56 stock, the cut and strip stock, which is a terrible option that I don't think you should ever equip, but hey, if you want a junky looking SKS, here it is. We have the SKS cut stock, the SKS custom butt stock and pistol grip, which again is a very bubbified option. We have the early Type 56 stock, the SKS 45 stock, the Narinko Paratrooper stock, the Tapco body, and the Albanian SKS stock. Now, the Tapco body is one of the few that actually adds more sections. This will give you option to throw on a pistol grip and a stock, and even a few skins. Now, moving on, we have the scope section where you can throw on the standard iron sights, the expert marksman sights, and the PSO scope, which is really cool to have that classic scope for this weapon. We have a ton of muzzle options here with the option for no muzzle, a makeshift compensator, an oil can suppressor, the KX3 suppressor, the AK-74 compensator, the DTK1 compensator, the DTK2 compensator, the long compensator, the 7.62x39 muzzle brake, the SIL 9 suppressor, and the Subtac suppressor. Moving on, we also have a section for the handguards where we can throw on the option for no handguard, a heat shield, the Type 56 handguard, the classic handguard, the Bakelite handguard, the Tapco handguard, and the Albanian handguard, which looks pretty interesting. Is probably meant for its own stock. Moving on down, we also have the Tapco furniture skin, which we cannot preview since this is a wood stock, but we've got beige, green, gray, olive, camo, white, and woodland. Then we also have a section for tape color, which is going to give you a handful of options for the tape you can equip to this weapon, which we have not equipped yet. We have a metal skin option, which is going to change out from default to honor guard, which will just make it a bit more shiny. We have the option to throw on a flashlight here on the right side of the weapon. We also have the option to change out the wood finish on this thing. So we have black polymer, black wood, dark brown wood, East German yellow wood, orange wood, PLA Marine Corps camo, polymer Chinese hunter camo, Raider paint, red wood, Russian hunter camo, stripped and oiled stock, the pack paint, which is going to spawn on the pack raiders, winter paint, wood shellac finish, woodland camo, worn burgundy, worn orange, worn sun-bleached wood, and Zapatista paint, which is very fitting for this weapon. We also have a section for a front grip where you can throw on a makeshift screwdriver foregrip or a Bakelite grip. We have a section where you can throw on a laser module to the left of the weapon here. We also have the different magazine options. We've got a whole lot of stuff here. This is the 10-round static mag, which will use stripper clip animations, the 15-round detachable mag, the 20-round static mag, the 30-round detachable mag, the 75-round drum, the 20-round Tapco magazine, and then also some conversions to 545 and 556. We also have a section where you can change out the upper handguard attachment. This is where you actually throw on the tape mentioned earlier. Then we also have the addition of a rail, which will let you throw on a couple of small optics. Moving forward, we finally have the bayonet section where we have actually a surprising amount of options here. We have no bayonet, the SKS 45 bayonet, the Type 56 bayonet, and then we actually have unfolded versions of the 45 and 56 bayonet, and also the option to throw on a bipod. Now, really quick, before we move on to the damage test, we need to talk about those specific Tapco parts. We have the option to throw on some new tactical attachments. This will be your front-mounted scopes. We have the option for no sight, a Barska scope, a NIDAR sight, the OKP-7 reflex sight, an EOTech hollow sight, and a Spectre long scope. We also have some attachments for the buttstock here. We have the option for no buttstock, the folding stock folded and unfolded. We also have the SKS Tapco buttstock and the recoil compensating buttstock. Moving down, we also have a pistol grip section. We have Dr. Dax Tapco pistol grip. That's because this is the mesh I used for the assault rifle. We also have the M4 pistol grip, the speed pistol grip, and the ergonomic pistol grip. And then we also need to talk about the different colors you can throw on this thing. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got beige, green, gray, olive, VSR camo, white, and woodland. Now then, it is of course time for our damage test to see how this weapon performs in combat. We'll be running 3 tests today using Deathclaws as our baseline. We'll do one with no attachments and no perks to see how this weapon performs on its own, one with the maxed out attachments to see how it does with those upgrades, and then a final version with the maxed out attachments and maxed out rifleman perk to see how this thing does in the late game. Now then, starting off with the basic version of this weapon, no attachments and no perks, let's see how it does with 10-round magazines. One reload already in. And in only 16 shots, that Deathclaw is down. Not too bad. Let's see how we do with a fully upgraded version. And in half the amount of bullets with 8 shots, that Deathclaw is down. With maxed out rifleman, this Deathclaw should go down in 4 shots. Let's see if that's correct. Well, we weren't. It actually went down in 3, so it performs even better. Definitely one that's worth the upgrades and the perks. So yeah, guys, that is the SKS Redux mod. I think I covered just about everything, but if I didn't, be sure to let me know down in the comments. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the mod. If you did, be sure to grab it. It'll be linked down in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video as well. Consider dropping a like, it really helps out the channel, and consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video, and of course, a very special thank you to Avian4, Captain Chaos, Freedom, Glasma, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, Kid Hades, Cushy, Logan Rigmaiden, Madly Matt, Microhan, Moonlit Gamer, Oscar Scott, Sterling, Steven, Timmy76, Youth RC, and Voider for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you'd like to support the channel over on Patreon, you can do so using the link down in the description, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace!